What's good, YouTube? It's your man BG Tech Life, and today we got the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra on deck. And guys, we got to talk about something very important. We got to talk about battery life, because that's one of the things that we lean on our flagship devices for, to have some of the premier battery life and get us through the day and still be able to do all the tasks we need these devices to do, because that's why we paid the premier top tier price for them. So today we're going to talk about the battery life on this Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so lately I've been seeing some things about the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and basically the battery life being nuked. Now, that's not my experience. I'm just being honest with y'all. In a minute, I'm going to share with y'all my battery life for my device yesterday. I mean, it's not crazy numbers, but it's definitely not nuked. But my battery life has been fairly decent and spot on. I haven't had any real issues with this device. I always need to be on the charger or where the power just drain really fast. So with that being said, I'm not discounting anyone's claims on battery life, because you gotta realize that we all use our phones differently, all use different apps, all use our phones in different ways. And these things, these different situations that you put the phone in between your carrier and your device looking for a signal, can all weigh heavily on your battery life. So when one person say they have battery life and everybody else doesn't, it's not about actually discrediting them, but actually looking at the variables that can affect your battery life on your device. So these are my statistics from yesterday, guys. As you can see, I just included some basic statistics. And as you can see, at this point when I took this screenshot, I had about 20% left on my battery. So we got battery usage, 77%. Screen on time, I got 6 hours and 20 minutes yesterday of screen on time, which is not bad at all with 20% left, which means I could have maybe took this to 7.5 hours of screen on time. So definitely not a slouch, because I do use my device heavily and I do use the screen heavily, and everything is turned up on here. I'm on QHD. My screen is super bright all the time. Like, I'm not turning anything down. Also, you can see I had 9 hours and, well, basically 10 hours of screen off time. And like I said, it was about 20% left on this. So I think this battery life is outstanding. You know, this is the channel where I preach anything over 5 hours of screen on time, I'm cool with. So when I can get 6.5 hours with 20% left, meaning I could go to probably 7.5 hours on this big dog device with this big dog screen and my big dog usage, I'm definitely feeling it. And it lasted to the end of the day with 20% left. So I'm definitely cool with it. Other people may experience different things depending on different variables, but this is just my experience I wanted to share with y'all. I wanted to actually give y'all some numbers, some figures, so y'all didn't just think I was capping about my battery life. Okay guys, so I took it to display for a second, and I just want to show y'all the things that could affect your battery life. Not saying that you need to turn anything down, and you'll see that my device is all the way turned up as far as the display goes. As you can see, my brightness is almost to the red point. I keep it all the way turned up. No adaptive brightness. Now that may be something that runs my battery down, because normally you can cut adaptive brightness on and the screen will actually brighten and decrease the brightness depending on the situation. It got sensors for that, and your screen won't be super bright all the time, which is something that weighs on the battery. But I don't care about that. I'm trying to get the best, everything that I want out of this device. I want it all the way turned up. But that's just definitely something that you can mess with as far as getting better battery life, leaving the adaptive brightness on and letting the display do the thing on its own. And as you can see, I even got extra brightness on, and this is something that you could cut off, which will probably actually save your little battery, because for some reason I just need the brightest display ever. Okay, so now we're gonna take it to motion smoothness, guys. Now, if you want to save some battery life, you can actually use this device at 60 hertz. And when you want to use it in a frame rate faster than 60 hertz, but the frame rate means this, guys, at the rate that the frames refresh on the screen. So if you notice a device that's got 120 hertz, that it refreshes 2 times the amount of times of the screen that's on 60 hertz. So it give you like a smoother scroll, less jittery, things of that nature. But you can put this in standard. Like this is iPhone right here. Standard is basically, you got an iPhone 15. Standard is right here. That's what you'll get on an iPhone 15. Get longer battery life by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate up to 60 hertz. It'll stay at 60 hertz, but this is a way that you can save some battery if you wanted to. Now, this is a big one right here, guys. And, you know, we got this Ultra phone. Of course, you probably not going to want to use it like this, but these are just the suggestions that I'm suggesting. Now, we got the screen resolution. Now, I run mine in QHD+. This is all the pixels popping right here. Every pixel on the screen is being put to use. But you can actually knock this device down to 1080. You can knock it all the way down to 720. At 1080, you'll definitely save battery. 720, you'll definitely save battery because the screen is efficient, guys, but at the same time, the less pixels you use, the more efficient it is. Okay, let's go to battery for a minute, guys. So now we're in battery, and boom, when you go to battery, let's go to in this part, I like to check out background usage limits. Now, guys, you're gonna have apps that you haven't opened and they could be running in the background. Like, let's say you opened Facebook 3 days ago because you're not really on Facebook. Facebook will stay open in the background. It'll keep checking for your location. It'll keep checking data. It'll keep trying to send you notifications that you don't need and things of that nature. Now, I do keep this on. Put unused apps to sleep. Because if I'm not using the app, there's no need for it to be lurking in the background. Possibly it could introduce malware to my device. For sure, it's checking my location for no reason. It's basically sitting there and sipping my personal information and trying to feed me ads, things of that nature. I don't need that going on. So I will allow the device to put unused apps to sleep. Now, last but not least, we're going to go to device care. And basically in device care, I just wanted to show y'all something. I don't know if a lot of people even know that this exists on this device, but you can go to performance profile. Now, depending on how you're using your device, like let's say I edit my YouTube videos on my S24 Ultra. Now, when I'm editing my YouTube videos, of course, I'm going to want the standard performance. But outside of that, if I'm not really doing too much on this device, since it's so powerful, I could knock the power draw down to light. And light prioritizes battery life and cooling efficiency over processor speed. If I'm not doing anything big, I don't need a whole lot of processor speed. But maybe I do need to cut it back on the standard when I open up LumaFusion to go ahead and edit my video. And light will actually save you, will keep the device cooler as far as the thermals go, because it won't be processing crazy, and it'll also save you some battery. So that's just another thing that you could do while you casually using the device. But other things I want to talk about on this device as far as the battery life and maybe why a person could have an issue. Another thing is signal, guys. Like if you got a signal that's 5G and it's switched between 4G and 5G all the time, like let's say your device, you look up, you see 4G sometimes, then you see 5G. That means you're not in a good 5G area, and a lot of times you're probably getting slow 5G speeds because you barely connecting to 5G. That's why your phone is going between 4 and 5G. So another thing that you can do is actually cut the 5G off. A lot of times our devices waste a lot of power looking for signals that's barely not there. Like let's say we're barely near a 5G signal, like we're getting a weak 5G signal. The device will keep switching between 4G and 5G because natively this device is supposed to hook to a 5G signal, so it'll try to hook and then it'll lose it and go back to 4G. But the device will honestly be wrestling with itself all day between networks and is actually burning battery. So if you're not in the area where you got 5G and that 5G signal is strong, and because 4G is everywhere, it's not burning the battery on your device looking for a signal. Your device has a nice healthy signal that it can find easily without switching between networks and burning battery. But this was just my experience with my battery life on my device and some tips and tricks, man. I hope y'all appreciate it. Hope y'all like the video. If you did like it, go ahead, make sure you subscribe, man. It's your boy BG Tech Life. It's my S24 Ultra. Those are my thoughts on the battery life. Those are my tips and tricks. I'm out. Peace.